I never lose, either I win or I learn. Those are my only options, to whomever it may concern. About to be a hot topic, play with fire, you get burned. Ain't nobody give me nothing, whatever I got, better I earn. I never lose, but I learn. I either win or I learn. Those are my only options, to whomever.
Welcome to our very first episode of the Strong AF podcast. I'm your host, Ashley.
And I'm Yuri.
And together, we are vegan weight loss coaches, and we co-own Vegan Strong and Fit. And we are just so excited to get on here and talk to you all about just all things strong.
Yes, it's a wide range of things that whatever you hold dear to you, what makes you strong mentally, physically, whatever you're going through that has pretty much made you who you are today, made you stronger for it.
Right, exactly. We've all gone through, not so great circumstances in our past, things that just make us who we are today, right? I'm a firm believer that things that happen in your childhood shape who you are as an adult. And because of that, you can either learn from it and come out stronger, or you can continue down the path you're on. Mm-hmm. And this podcast is to focus on people who have taken something that just may not have been a great situation and has completely turned it around and come out stronger on the other end for it, not just physically, but also mentally.
Yeah, we just want everybody listening or watching to come and listen and hear us and whatever guests we may have speak about what they're going through, what they have overcame, just kind of empower people to let them know that whatever your situation is, you can overcome it. You can go on.
Exactly. Hey y'all, if you haven't heard about Anchor, let me tell you, this is such an amazing app.
It's free.
It is. It's free and it's so easy to use. And it has so many tools that allow you to record and edit your own podcast, either from your phone or your computer, whichever you prefer, or hey, mix it up and do both. And it will also distribute your podcast for you. So it couldn't be any easier to get to like your favorites.
Very convenient.
Yes. Your favorites like Spotify and Apple. And it can be heard on even more platforms than that. So it's awesome. And it just distributes them by itself.
The best thing about it is you can make money. Cha-ching!
And no minimum listenership in order to receive that money, y'all. That's amazing. It's everything you need to make money on a podcast in one place.
So you know what you got to do? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So I bet you're all pretty wondering why Vegan Strong and Fit? What is it? How did you come up with the concept? We're just wanting to let all you listeners and viewers know where it all began. It all started, I may have been in my truck and I was listening to a podcast and I really wasn't paying too much attention. I was focusing on driving until I heard the woman say, "Chicken is the devil." So that kind of got my attention and I started really listening and hearing the effects of meat and what it does to your body and about a vegan lifestyle.
And this is coming from the guy who, his big highlight of the week was going to Buffalo Wild Wings for the buy one, get one free buffalo wings. So this was a big deal when he came home and he was like, "Ashley, you have to listen to this podcast. We have to do this." It took me by surprise, honestly, because we had tried to go vegan. Well, I guess we did like a vegan day several years ago when my coworker went vegan. And, we just didn't have the right motivation behind it to continue on. And so when he told me that, I was like so surprised. And I was like, okay, well, I will agree to do this with you if you can promise me that this is going to be a lifestyle and not just something that we try for a week or two.
That's what threw me off. Because I was thinking holidays. I was like, I can't just have maybe some turkey on Thanksgiving or something like that, and then continue on with the rest of the year. She was like, no, you have to stick to it. I was like, so it's gone for good? And I was like, okay, I'm up for it. I can do it.
And he has man, it's been incredible with the shift. So we officially decided, I guess that was back in February, maybe end of January, early February of this year that you heard that podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And we had talked about it, and we decided that first we were going to go pescatarian. Actually, I don't even think that at that point in time that vegan was ever our goal. We just wanted to get rid of the chicken, turkey, beef, pork. So our plan was to go pescatarian and just stay pescatarian. So we did that. We got rid of all the meat we had before, we did this. That way we weren't wasting food and temptations.
We took baby steps. We just didn't want to just dive in and just throw away all of our junk food. So we kind of indulged, and we kind of made ourselves sick of the meat and stuff like that until we had enough, and we gave away a few things, but we didn't just empty our pantry and our freezer and our refrigerator.
And it wasn't the healthiest way to do this, but honestly, I think it was the best thing we could have done for us, because it just made us so sick of the food that by the time we began eating cleaner and we were just eating fish and fruits and vegetables, it was so much easier to do because we just didn't have that desire for it anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing what we did, because it was awful. It was like Chinese and burgers and whatever else all in one day.
Yeah.
So you're just thinking meat, fried. And to the point where he was like, this is awful.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, it worked out well for us because it just deterred us from continuing to eat that. We just didn't have a desire for it after that. And then I'd say about 3 weeks later, we also got sick of the fish, and we were like, okay, I'm just tired of having this all the time. Like, let's just go fully vegan.
It was like there was no need for it.
Yeah.
It's like we've gone Monday, Tuesday, just plant-based. And then Wednesday comes, you may have everything plant-based, but dinner you may have a couple shrimp or something like that. It's like, I don't really need that now.
Yeah.
So why even do it?
Exactly. So for us, it just made sense. The most difficult part, I think, was we do have 3 boys. So our oldest is going to be 9 next week at the time of us recording this. And then we have a 3-year-old and one that's going to be 2 at the end of the year. So it was harder on that aspect, and their transition was much slower. For our oldest, he understood why we were doing it, and he was totally on board. Our middle child didn't quite understand what it was, but he goes to the grocery store now, and he's like, is that vegan? Is that vegan? So he's like kind of getting it.
Baby steps.
Yeah, but we did transition type foods, so things that look similar to what they're used to make it easier for them. And then our youngest, by the time we started this, I mean, he had just switched to solid foods, maybe like fully solid foods, like maybe 6 months before. So it wasn't that big of a shift for him.
So his pretty much going forward, all he's going to remember is just being vegan. He won't remember he never tastes like seafood, certain seafoods and stuff like that. He's just maybe had his small selection of stuff, whatever we felt comfortable feeding him. But that's one of the perks. He'll be the lifelong vegan plant-based type. So
yeah, exactly. So it's really exciting. I think that was one of the biggest accomplishments, was to be able to do this as a family. That way we all have that support of each other. And that was great.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so the reason, all that said, to say why vegan, strong, and fit, right? So I feel like many times, and I also thought this, vegan as being small, petite,
rabbit food,
frail. Yeah, like that was always the image that I got behind that. And it's not, especially if you watch like The Game Changers. Oh my gosh, that was a big documentary that just completely changed our outlook on this. And it's just mind blowing. Like, you don't have to eat meat to be strong. And that is what we want to portray. And that's what we want to get across in our messaging with our brand, with our clients. And I think that's just huge, right?
Yeah. To backtrack a little bit, once I know me going to work and telling my coworkers what I'm doing, how I'm done with meat, where I'm going vegan, and they look at you like, so no more of this and no chicken. It's like, yes, and no cereal. Like, what are you gonna eat and stuff like this, and then just telling them stuff like that, educating them, and all this temptation. They're like, hey, I got this piece of chicken. You sure you don't want a piece? And stuff like that. Where as weeks go by, they start noticing, man, you done lost a lot of weight. How much weight are you losing and this and stuff? And even walking around in our neighborhood where neighbors are stopping and tell us, oh my goodness, y'all are looking great. We see y'all, we notice y'all walking around every day and everything. Whatever y'all are doing, y'all, it's working.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what encouraged us, because we were like, oh my gosh, like if they're this inspired by our transformation, then we have to be able to get out here and share that with the world. And what better way to do that, especially now during the pandemic when things are closed off, right? And it's the time where people need to be healthy the most, because those with any kind of pre-existing medical conditions are the ones that are going to be most susceptible with COVID-19. And so we want to help transform people's lifestyles, help them get healthier, and just make better decisions when it comes to what they're putting in their body. And that's why we decided to create this business.
Yeah, because a bunch of people don't know where to begin with weight loss, or they start going to the gym. They don't know what exercises to do. They're in there 3 hours a day, and then they give up because they're not seeing the changes that they're looking for, or they could be expecting for too much that's just going to happen overnight, and that they can just go to the gym 3 days a week and in 2 weeks lose 20 pounds. It doesn't work that way. It's hard as fuck. You got to put in the work.
Yeah, you got to stay consistent, and you have to stick with what you're doing, and get some support behind you, which is what we're here for, and what we're going to be here for you guys every week on this podcast. And, I guess you're wondering, like, where's the correlation, right? Because this podcast is not only going to be talking about nutrition and fitness, which we will be providing so many motivational tips and education around that. However, this is not just about that, because you can't be physically strong if you're not mentally strong.
Yes, it all starts with the mentality first. Once you have that in order, the rest is easy peasy. You can just get it going.
Exactly. And that's why we want to not only share, our personal stories with you of how we've overcome difficult situations, but we want to bring other people on who have had challenges in their lives and how they've overcome them and come out stronger on the other end. And we want to show you all kinds of different people who have gone through this, not just those that are athletes or those who, have made a career out of that or whatever. We want to have people from all different walks who have overcome something difficult in their life and have used nutrition, fitness in some way to come out stronger mentally as well as physically.
Yes, that way you'll know that you too, whatever you're going through, you can be strong, because you are strong. Once you start believing in yourself, the sky's the limit.
Exactly. And so we're just so excited to be on here with you all every week talking about this. And also we'll be doing a couple surprise coaching calls as well, scattered throughout. And that way, you can kind of see our style and how we work with our clients and how we help them to overcome their obstacles.
Yep. Our goal is to get everyone strong AF.
Yeah. And then, the biggest thing is, like, You don't have to make a massive change in your life to make a massive change in the world, right? So our goal is to create massive changes in the environment and throughout the world by helping people learn how to take small steps and smaller actionable items that they're going to stick with as a lifestyle change, which will in turn help create massive change in the world.
Baby steps. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Exactly. So, y'all, we will see you next week for our next episode here. And remember, stay strong AF.
Yes, sir.